So you use Saturdays to kind of hang out, get ingredients, get some office work done, and Wake Brewing, you guys sounds like you don't really do Saturday mornings.
It depends on the schedule. Sometimes there will be a brew day on a Saturday or Sunday. But for the most part, like I try to take a day off. It's pretty rare. Saturdays kind of fit that bill. Sometimes Sundays, but not too much.
With the crazy hours that you guys work and having to do things all hours of the night and the nature of what you do, you can't really stop sometimes in the middle or to catch your breath. So it's very labor intensive and the hours are long. How important is that to make sure that you are scheduling time to recharge and be a human being?
That has proven for me to be the hardest thing at this point. It's trying to be able to step away a little bit and enjoy other things, but it is my life.
I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. There's times where I'll just go, I don't even count when was the last time I had a day off, kind of
right.
thing, because like it might be just one thing I have to do, but the fact that I have to step in those four walls to do that one thing, it may only take 10 minutes, pretty much means I didn't have a day off.
So when you meet a young person who wants to get into the industry, do you kind of walk them through some of the, do you say it's a good career, but here's the caveats? Because it is just so much work that you guys do.
If you're afraid of heavy lifting, if you're afraid of getting wet and sweaty work, this probably isn't the job for you.
Right.
Yeah, it's a grind. It's a manufacturing facility. It's exactly what it is. There's a lot of glamour, involved in brewing outside of the actual work itself. The end product and the culture itself is, I guess glamorous per se, but the amount of work that has to go into it every day, even when you don't even step in your four walls, you're thinking about it.
When you guys go to a brewery, what are you looking for? Help me see it through a brewer's eyes. I know as a consumer what I like, but what are the things that you're looking for when you walk into a place?
The first thing I look for when I open the door and step foot in there, I want to see that the front of the house is clean and orderly, because if that's not clean and orderly, who knows what's going on, behind the closed doors in the back where they're making the product.
For me, it's the environment. I walk in and if I look around and I'm like, yeah, this is definitely a place I could chill at. And then the second thing I look for is the lightest beer on the menu, because that'll always tell you a lot about the quality of the beer when you start with the lightest.
The lightest beer is what you look for first?
Yep, because there's nothing to hide behind if they know what they're doing.
So you look at that on the menu. Will you order that initially to see what they're doing? So you'll start with something light.
Yep.
And then work your way up to heavier stuff.
Yeah, because if they can get that light beer down, then chances are everything else that they're making is going to be pretty top notch.
Tend to look for just kind of their vision, their overall vibe of what they've got going on, aesthetically pleasing, and then usually just gravitate towards the beer menu and see how diverse they are, what lane they're in, and by style wise, give me a pretty good grasp of how many beers I plan on having in the place pretty quick.
You guys are probably too young to remember CB radio. It was a big thing.
Oh no, I used to have one in my car.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What was your handle?
I think it was graphics.
Graphics?
Yeah.
Like the bongs?
Yeah.
Breaker 19, this is graphics. We got a Smoky on our tail. So aesthetics of a brewery, when you go in and there's that vibe, and it changes from place to place, the aesthetics are, like at Wake, everything is so dialed into. You're very aware when you're at Wake of what you guys are trying to do, right? That when you're in that space exactly the vibe that you're going for, and that's all done super intentionally, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The bar staff and stuff, everybody has some form of influence or another. Great ideas come from everywhere.
Yeah, I just think it's important that the whole vision is from, fermenter to can to person sitting to merch to stuff on the windows, stuff on the walls. It all needs to kind of tie in together. Something I don't see that I think would be really great, and I'm totally anti it, but I think on a business level is like, you don't see a lot of sports breweries, like, and I'm just like, I feel like everyone's missing the boat on that. I mean, let it be somebody else's lane and I won't drink there, but like, I feel like it's
I mean, the beer's good. I probably do it. I don't really
not
watch
during
a lot of
games.
sports. Yeah, no.
Not during games.
I find that I really dig when I go to a brewery and they don't have a television. And maybe it's just because, I mean, don't get me wrong, we're on TV right now. I think TV is fantastic. But to not have a TV, when that decision is made, I always think, okay, I know I'm in a good place. And then I spend half the time looking at my phone anyway, so.
Right. When we first started working on the idea of Wake, we kicking around that, the idea number one is definitely no TVs, because we just wanted to encourage conversations between the patrons. But then Justin went as far as being like, you know what, we should also say no phones. And I was like, yeah.
Hey man, see, not every idea is the best.
No.
Hey, there's a brewery right here.
Great Revivalist Brew Lab. Should we stop here?
Yeah, let's see if we can get in. I think I know a guy over there.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. This is Rich with Radical Effect. I know you guys aren't open yet, but I got a van full of people, and we'd hoping to stop on in and try one of your libations.
Well, come on in, buddy.
All right, man. Greatly appreciated. We'll be there in about 30 seconds.
Sounds great.
All right. Bye.
Now, he would just let you in even if we weren't on television, right?
Nope, probably not.
Really? Okay. Well, now this is all making sense.
Well, I wouldn't have.
Yeah.